Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tracy, and I'm working on my kit that I made for the Love for Homemade Kits that I'm following along with the Crafty Maven Facebook group. And this will be the third layout that I made. And I'm using a sketch that Miranda Webber, she designed for our Secret Not Secret kit crop that we had in March, and she wanted it to be a challenge. And I have to say, yes, Miranda, this definitely was a challenge. It is, to me, it looks like argyle. And so I am focusing on the X because I am going to do some hand stitching. So I want to make sure that the lines are, straight and that they're even on both sides because I think that would be pretty noticeable. And what I've done is, I really wanted it to be orange thread, but I didn't have any orange thread, and I didn't wanna go to Michael's to go get orange DMC floss, so I just used what I had. So I had a little bit of red thinking that it was gonna be enough for both X's, and it wasn't. So one of them is red and the other one is pink. And I punched the holes, so I have this very thick, oh, I don't know what you call that. It's, um, it's what I use to punch my holes, and then I have this, uh, iconic paper piercer, and I just eyeball it, and I wanted to make sure that the lines were straight, so as soon as I punch all the holes, I do erase the lines. And now I'm going real time here, showing you how I do my running stitch. Now, once I got everything done, that's when I went and secured the ends with washi tape. So it's super simple. I don't know if anyone has any questions on how to do this type of stitch. I'd be glad to explain it a little bit better. But you just, you go up and down, and you have to go back through a hole or 2, to make it a running stitch. So there it is. You can see the pink, you can see the red, but I think when the whole thing is done, you're not gonna be able to tell. And I'm using my 6x6 sheets that I had pulled out from my kit, and I am very happy. And in fact, it was these colors is what I decided, what I was gonna use for because I end up painting, this argyle. So the well, you'll see here in a minute. So I'm using this orange for the very first time, and it is called Squeezed Orange, and, oh, I think it is just beautiful. And I just use, I didn't wanna get too close to the stitching because then I knew that the thread would wick it, and that is not what I wanted. And it's got really good coverage, but I did want a little bit of the background to show through, and I tried to make the line as straight as I could, and it's pretty. I mean, it's handmade looking, and you know what? I'm okay with this, and I'll be honest with you, this is not one of my favorite pages I've ever made, but it was pretty fun to make because I don't hardly ever use acrylic paint, and these dilution paints are gorgeous. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 colors plus black, and I love them, absolutely love them. And the little paintbrushes I use, I don't even know. I probably got those at Hobby Lobby in a package. They're not very expensive. And they clean up really nice too. There's no glitter or anything with it, and I didn't want anything with glitter. I wanted it to be pretty flat. So I couldn't decide, should I go ahead and paint the diamond shapes or the shapes here first and then do the stitching, or should I just do it the way I did? And of course, you see the way I decided. And now that I've got that done, I need to go in with the blue, and the blue is called London Blue, and it is also very, very pretty. I was very impressed. And a little bit of paint goes a long way. I was very impressed with the coverage. I know I can't get over that. This is coming from somebody that does watercolor, and I'm so used to having, paint that you can see everything underneath. So to me, this is a new medium, and I'm still learning the properties of it. So I like that you can still see the brush strokes. That's exactly what I wanted. So I don't have that many embellishments left, and I think I touch everything that is in my little bag of goodies. And there are some butterflies. I think I ended up with several butterflies left over. And I only go with the orange heart. And as a spoiler alert, I do use up the rest of them in the next page. I was able to pretty much kill the kit. I was very proud of myself. So I had to get creative because I didn't pull very many embellishments, and I really didn't want to go through all my stash again to pull things. So I was just going to make do with what I had. So that's why I chose to do this acrylic paint, because it was different. It's very eye catching, and so I'm using the paint and hand stitching and the different colors. And I just went with this, and I really like the way it turned out for somebody that doesn't have a lot. And I use a lot of embellishments usually with my pages, but I just used with what I had. I wanted to make sure that I used up what I had. And another thing is I didn't want to have to put away anything that I wasn't using. So that was another thing. So in my typical style, I had outlined all of the papers. I do the striped paper. I do the papers that are around the photo, all the layers. I do that. I really like the way that looks because I think it just draws your eye inward, and it adds just that touch of black. I know that the butterfly is black and it has some dark blue, and there's really not a lot of black. The word friends is black, but I think, you need to have some black throughout the page. I think that that is important. All right, so let's go ahead and put everything back. But for the photo, I wanted it to have some elevation, so I got out my foam tape, which I am in the process of ordering another roll. That roll lasted me, I would say, a year. But another thing that I use to add elevation to my photos is I have cardboard that I get from work, so that's free, but it's not near as thick as the foam tape. So, um, I have a lot of that kind of, I'm stockpiling it. I should probably go ahead and just start using that instead of the foam tape, instead of spending the money, because the foam tape is a little on the pricey side. One thing about these foam words, I absolutely love them, but they stick to the backing of that. So I carefully pried it off, and then, it kind of expands. So I kind of have to squeeze it back together, and I didn't leave enough room. So anyway, and then I didn't like that Friends was too far down. And I know it's really hard to tell. You can hardly see it on top of the butterfly, but in real life you can because of the foam, and it's a little bit higher up, than the butterfly. In the yellow tag there, it says, "We have so much fun." So it's friends. We have so much fun. And this is a photo of my daughter. This is my oldest daughter, and I rarely scrapbook her. So her sister, who I normally scrapbook, sent a text to her sisters and said, "You guys need to send mom some photos so she can scrapbook you guys." So at first, this daughter sent me photos of where she was because she was meeting friends. And I said, "Well, could you send a selfie?" And so this is what I got. And I'm tickled because she doesn't do selfies very often. And so I got to teach that girl to smile, and she's got to have something in the background. So it's a work in progress. We'll get her. Eventually she'll get there. So anyways, I'm finishing up my journaling, and then I end up drawing some lines at the bottom because I felt like it still needed some black and to kind of draw your eye, towards the center, as if the blue and orange paint weren't enough. And then I do my typical, fancy finishing touches. I use Night Moves, which is a Shimmers product, and I'm one of those that I like to do it at a diagonal. So I'm trying to do it in the top left-hand corner and the bottom right-hand corner, and I cover my photo up. It's like the little plastic clam shell that came with probably some ephemera or something that I got, and I know at first I do the pink. I put down a pink sequin. It doesn't stay. I That was some of the sequins that I had put in my kit, but I changed it. I went ahead and grabbed these sequins here. Okay, so we're getting towards the end, and I wanna thank everyone for watching. And welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for the lovely comments. And if you have any questions or comments, if you'll leave those below, and I would appreciate any thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, I would certainly appreciate that. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.